I was wrong. Dolly. Dolly's over here looking for her baby. And Dolly's tail remarkably looks like Faith's tail. Fancy? Faith. Fancy? Faith. Guess what, doll? I got news for you, baby. You're gonna like it. Okay, I'm stalling a little bit here on what I'm trying to talk about, and I'm struggling to come up with the words because it's gonna make some people mad, okay? And I'm sorry that I'm not sorry, but I'm putting my foot down today, okay? Now listen, I am not Longhorn Lester. Never proclaimed to be a rancher or anything like that. I'm just Jamie. And I only know what I have experienced over the last 7 years of being here in Texas, and only have womanly instincts, motherly instincts, and okay, I'm stalling a little bit here on what I'm trying to talk about, and I'm struggling to come up with the words because it's gonna make some people mad, okay? And I'm sorry that I'm not sorry, but I'm putting my foot down today, okay? I am taking a stand and putting my foot down, and come on, let's jump on the side-by-side and go talk about it. We're gonna go pick up Lester so that you can hear the whole conversation and not just one side.
Where are we headed?
Look, I even let him drive. This is gonna be fine, right? It's gonna be totally fine.
Where are we headed?
We want to go find the red mamas.
Red mamas?
The redheads. We're chasing redheads today.
I bet I know where this is going.
You do? I already prefaced that some people are gonna be mad.
Did you say happy wife, happy life? Is that how you prefaced it?
No, I didn't actually. I said I was putting my foot down.
Yeah, I say happy wife, happy life. You say put your foot down.
Let's
Same
go.
thing.
Let's take a little ride, and we're gonna talk about it. It turns out that the redheads are a little split up. We got one redhead over here.
Doing their own thing.
They are doing their own thing. We got two redheads. Whoa!
They're being babysit by Jezebel.
Oh, yeah. Jezebel is babysitter down here. You better close that.
I am.
We got a little half-sea redhead right here on the other side of Charlene. And we got a redhead out here. Everybody's everywhere. That's so weird. And we got another one up on the hill. I've never seen these babies so spread out.
Heat of the day, they're just trying to find a cool place to lay.
I understand that. All right, come on. Let's start with these. Hi, babies.
Hi, girls. It's that weird guy who always films you.
Oh my God, they're so cute.
Hi, little ones. Faith and Fancy. Faith and Fancy.
Okay.
Boy.
So, thank you for turning the side-by-side off. You must know how serious this talk is about to get.
Slide over. I'll sit on the side like you.
Oh, okay. So, Faith and Fancy have been a topic of conversation lately. They're both looking at Jezebel like, do we run? Do we stay?
Where's our babysitter?
Where is our mother? Anyway, recently, Lester Morrow talked to Rancher Jake. Not nephew Jake, Rancher.
Longhorn Rancher Jake.
Longhorn Rancher Jake. And as two Longhorn ranchers, they made decisions. They made some decisions, okay? And when this Longhorn Rancher, came home and told me about the decisions. What happened, Lester? Don't say that I threw a fit, because I didn't throw a fit.
You just shared a different perspective on everything.
That's true. I'm going to flip this around so we can see us together. I'm not over here like mom mugging him or mean mugging him. Nobody needs to like make Lester blink twice if he needs an out or anything like that. I just shared a perspective that was, I think, motherly and womanly, and I'm not going to face us while we do this. I just wanted people to see that you're not mad and I'm not mad. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'm not mad.
Okay. I'm going to turn around and we're going to look at babies instead of Lester and Jamie's face now. All right. So y'all may or may not know that Faith and Fancy were actually prequels to their mamas coming to stay with us, which means that their mamas were pregnant before they were hauled to Longhorn Lester's. And they were pregnant by Longhorn Jake's bull. So technically, when Lester made the deal and switched, didn't know that they were there, and technically that means that they belong to Longhorn Jake. And Longhorn Jake and Lester made this agreement that they were going to go ahead and switch things up because Longhorn Jake's kids wanted to bottle feed, and it just felt like the time was right and all of those things. And as Lester was explaining that to me, I'm like, well, I don't understand the rush. I really took into consideration all that he was telling me, but wanted to dive deeper into like, but why now? Why now? It is the middle of August, the heat of summer, which is a very stressful, hard time on animals when it's 100+ degrees outside. And it's a stressful time on animals, healthy animals, let alone animals going through transition. And then I also started to ask, like, well, what happens to Reba and Dolly, their mamas? And he was like, they'll dry up in a couple of days and they'll be okay. But again, in my mind, that's a lot of unnecessary stress on babies and on mamas when we don't have like there's not like a health reason for it. Meaning that when Ruby and Danny were bottle fed, it was because there was like nothing for mamas to eat. Neither mama was capable of feeding the babies, and both would have died otherwise. Fancy and Faith are actually doing really well with their mamas. As you can see, there is green grass everywhere. They're part of the herd. They have a babysitter. Beautiful Jezebel. Yes, I know. That's your mamas over there. And they're thriving. So it was really hard for me to justify that transition to fulfill like a want of that Jake's kids wanted to bottle feed, or even an integrity spot of, well, technically they do belong to Jake. They can still belong to Jake, but just not now. And for everyone who's screaming like, Jamie, you're not a Longhorn Rancher, you don't know anything. I do know a thing or two about caring for animals during the heat of summer down here. And I do know a thing or two about stress and about nature. And I just think that it's fine later, after they're weaned, but it would be a horrible time to try to wean any animal that has already been accustomed to a circumstance. So Faith and Fancy both already eat from their mamas very well. They know their routines, their patterns, they know their herd, where they fall in that herd and in that hierarchy. They know that they get a babysitter every day. They know that mamas go and graze and that later on they come back and they eat from their mamas. And I just, Lester and I have always done what's best for the animals. Always. And we have never compromised our integrity around that. What are you doing, sweet girl? we have never let people's desires or wants or things like that get in the way. And my putting my foot down was along the lines of what's best for the animals, and not just these two babies. What's best for the mamas too. It is not best for those mamas to be walking around here stressing out. It is not best for them to try to dry up in 112 heat index. It's not best for the babies to be transported anywhere right now because they're a ruminant animal. They're a ruminant animal, and their bellies get jiggled up in transport, and they have transport stress, which causes diarrhea. On top of them already potentially being tried to be bottle fed, and their little tummies being so upset that they could be so dehydrated from those two circumstances and not getting acclimated that it could put them at risk. So I may not be a Longhorn rancher. I may not be a man, but whenever I talked to Lester about this and just told him, like, hold on, what's best here? Even if somebody is incredibly experienced at bottle feeding and has all of the right tools and everything like that, I don't understand the rush. There's plenty of grass for them to, get used to grazing on. Their mamas are very healthy and capable, and they're doing really well. So for everyone who was settling, I'll say, for them leaving and understood but didn't love it, please know they still will go through that, just not today. Hi, sweet girls. It'll be much further down the road. And for everyone who hates my guts because I stepped in and gave a different perspective, sorry, but if you really look at the circumstances, Jake will still get his baby cows. They'll just be a little bit bigger by the time that he gets them. And then finally, just enjoy them. Enjoy the time that we will have with them. Enjoy them from the videos that Lester shares and the moments that we'll get to capture. And I will say this, I know that no matter what happened, that both Longhorn Jake and Longhorn Lester have good intentions and that they mean very well. But they don't have like that womanly instinct in them. Sorry. Sometimes we just have to show them a different view. Who are you yelling at, sweetie? You talking to your mama way out in that pasture? You get to stay. You're so cute. Are you gonna come see me? Hi, baby. Hi, sweet girl. How are you? Oh, you don't want to come that close? You want to go see your babysitter? What about you? Now, here's the real question. Who's who? Who's Faith? And who's Fancy? Which one are you? I think that you're Fancy. Are you Fancy with the fancy tail? I know that this is terrible that I'm admitting this. I think that Fancy and Reba have matching tails. Am I right? Maybe. Hi, sweet girl. Are you curious too? I was wrong. Dolly. Dolly's over here looking for her baby. And Dolly's tail remarkably looks like Faith's tail. Fancy, Faith. Fancy, Faith. Guess what, doll? I got news for you, baby. You're gonna like it.